Dear yogis and TMC Dhamma family, our June 1-month retreat is coming to be successful. The whole month you have been practicing Vipassana diligently and listen to the Silavanta Sutta attentively. Today we have to finish this Sutta. According to this Sutta, yogi need to observe the 5 Upadana Khanda, 5 aggregates subject to clinging. Then you need to see that these 5 aggregates are nothing to be attached to, because now you have seen that they are impermanent, suffering, and so on. Only when you see the transitory nature, you want to get away from something. That is why it is important that we must first observe the 3 characteristics of the 5 aggregates of clinging in order to reach Sotapanna, Mega, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant. The Venerable Sariputta said, if a virtuous meditator see the 5 aggregates of clinging as impermanent and so on, there is a possibility that he or she may reach the stage of stream entry and become a Sotapanna. When you become Sotapanna, when you attain Sotapanna Mega, there comes a lot of blessing. What are the blessings of Sotapanna Mega? What are the benefits of becoming a Sotapanna? Yesterday we already explained. We have to read again. Look at your paper. Page number 7, number 26. 26. We read together. What are the blessings of Sotapanna Mega? What are the benefits of becoming a Sotapanna? All the benefits of reaching Sotapanna Mega. First blessing. First blessing is that Sotapanna Mega eradicates the mental defilements never before eradicated. Second blessing. The second blessing is that Sotapanna Mega dries up the oceans of suffering in samsara, the rounds of rebirth and death. Third blessing. Third blessing is that Sotapanna Mega close all doors to the 4 woeful states. So yesterday we finished. And the fourth blessing is that Sotapanna Mega enables one to become the possessor of 7 noble treasures. They are worldly treasures as well as Dhamma treasures. We can possess worldly treasures, but they are not real treasures because they can be useful only in one lifetime. But the noble treasures are those that are useful in both this life and in future lives. The first of 7 noble treasure a Sotapanna is said to possess is Saddha, confidence or faith. Confidence of Sotapanna is unshakable. They have unshakable faith in the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and the practice. Even if your lives were threatened by somebody approaching and saying, I will kill you if you do not give up the Buddha, you would rather be killed than to give up the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the practice. Sotapanna's confidence in the Triple Gem and the practice is extremely strong. Since it is so strong, you will turn only to the Buddha as your teacher and will never change your faith. Even in your next life, even in your next rebirth, you will not go to another teacher. You are said to be free from doing sick things, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies, taking intoxicant, and going to another teacher. This unshakable faith and confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the practice is a real treasure. And the next treasure is Sila. The Sila of Sotapanna is very pure. As you know, their precepts are not broken in the beginning, in the middle, in the end, or two or three consecutively, or in any other ways. Their Sila is totally pure and is praised by the noble ones. It's called Ariya Kanta Sila. These kinds of treasure they keep always. The Sila of ordinary person, those who have not yet reached enlightenment, cannot be so pure. They may break precepts when they are confronted with different situations, but Sotapannas will never break any one of the 5 precepts. Even when their lives are threatened, they will not kill another person. And the next treasure is moral shame to do wrong or evil action, and moral fear of the consequences of wrongdoing. These two are important treasures. Although unenlightened people have these qualities, those qualities possessed by a Sotapanna are of a higher kind. Because of moral shame and moral fear, Sotapanna will not do anything wrong. It is shame and fear that keep our community from wrongdoing. As long as these qualities are kept in our mind, we will do no wrong. However, once moral shame and moral fear disappear from our minds, anything can happen. These two treasures are called noble treasures, Ariyadana, because they belong to noble person, Ariya, who can do no wrong. The next treasure is knowledge, Sutta. Knowledge here means both knowledge through learning and knowledge through practice or experience. Sotapannas possess both kinds of knowledge in order to learn how to practice and become Sotapannas. They had to hear from the Buddha or other person. That is how knowledge is possessed, through learning, listening to talk, and reading. And they are really rich in knowledge through practice. Having realized the truth and seen Nirvana by themselves, their knowledge through practice is perfect. Both kinds of knowledge are possessed by Sotapannas. So they are called noble treasures, Ariyadana. And next treasure is giving or generosity, Jaga. Sotapannas are said to be very generous. That is because they have eradicated certain mental defilements. According to the Visuddhimagga, they have eradicated avarice, the insatiable greed for riches. And in other commentaries, it is said that they also eradicate envy. So not being afflicted by envy and avarice, Asa and Michiriya, Sotapannas are very generous. And the last treasure is Pinya, wisdom. Among the 8 factors of the path, the first factor is right understanding, Pinya, Samadhi. With this Pinya, with this wisdom, Sotapanna is able to eradicate the 3 factors altogether, and also to abandon the power of certain mental defilements. Such wisdom or knowledge possessed by a Sotapanna is regarded as a real treasure. Wisdom or understanding is precious because it cannot be stolen. It is your own. It is not common to anybody else. The best of treasures, it can eradicate the mental defilements totally. And eradications of mental defilements means eradications of suffering. So the 4th blessing we have to read. Look at your paper. Read together. The 4th blessing is that Sotapanna Mega enables to become possessor of 7 noble treasures. Again, the 4th blessing is that Sotapanna Mega enables one to become the possessor of noble treasures. So 7 noble treasures in Pali, follow me. Saddha, Sila, Sutta, Jaga, Pinya, Iri, Uttapa. So Pali and translation, you remember 7 noble treasures. The 5th blessing is that Sotapanna Mega abandons the Eightfold Wrong Path. You are familiar with the Eightfold Right Path, right understanding, right thinking, etc. But now, major mega wrong path is an opposite. The Eightfold Wrong Path, that path consists of 8 wrong factors, beginning with wrong understanding, wrong thinking, and so on. But right understanding, which belongs to the right eightfold path, abandons wrong understanding or wrong view or wrong view. And right thoughts abandons wrong thought and so on. And major sati, wrong sati, strictly according to Abhidhamma, there is no wrong sati because mindfulness is always wholesome. But here we find the words major sati, wrong sati. The commentary say that there really is no such thing as wrong mindfulness, but that here the remembrance of past unwholesome is called wrong sati. So if you remember killing, if you remember stealing in the past, that is called wrong sati. But if you remember to kill or if you remember to steal, that is called wrong mindfulness. So sometimes words are used in different senses. Right sati is to be understood according to Abhidhamma. We say that sati is always wholesome, sati is always good. There can be no unwholesome sati, and there is no such thing as wrong sati. The idea of wrong sati is to be understood according to Sutta. Samasati, right mindfulness, can abandon wrong mindfulness until right concentration can abandon wrong concentration. You have example of wrong concentration when you look at people who are catching fish. They take the fishing rod and their concentration is there. The moment they feel pressure on the line, they pull the rod up. That kind of samadhi, concentration is called major samadhi, wrong concentration. The right kinds of concentration can eradicate wrong concentration. Sotapanna mega, which is actually the 8 right factors, can eradicate the 8 wrong factors of the wrong path. It is another great blessing of Sotapanna mega. And the next blessing is that Sabha Vira Bayani Upasameti. Sotapanna mega destroy all enmity and danger. Enmity, Vira is hatred that leads to hostile action, killing living beings, stealing, and so forth. Because enmity and danger are our enemies, they can lead us to the 4 woeful states. However, if you attain Sotapanna mega, that mega destroying these tendencies. So the person who has become a Sotapanna will never kill any kinds of living beings. Sotapanna mega also destroy all dangers that might lead to falling into the four woeful states. So number 5 and number 5 and number 6 blessing, look at your paper, read together. The 5th blessing is that Sotabati Mega abandons the eightfold wrong path. The 6th blessing is that Sotabati Mega destroy all enmity and dangers. The last blessing of Sotabati Mega leads to the state of fully enlightened ones, breast-born sons and daughters. Sammasambuddha Orasa Buddha Bhavo Upaneti. Only on becoming a Sotapanna, you can claim to be a true son and daughter of the Buddha. Before that, you are still capable of abandoning the Buddha and going to another teacher. This is because faith in the Triple Gem and practice is not yet strong. But those meditators who have attained at least Sotapanna Mega will never deviate from being disciple of the Buddha, should be called the true and breast-born sons and daughters. Nowadays, we often say that we are sons and daughters of the Buddha, but that is not really true unless we have reached at least the first stage. But to show our confidence in the devotion to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, it is acceptable to say that we are sons and daughters of the Buddha. But only a person who has become enlightened, who has reached at least the stage of Sotapanna, can really be called a true son and daughter of the Buddha. And there are many other blessings provided by Sotapanna Mega. Having seen the truth and realized the Dhamma for themselves, Sotapannas have their own understanding and do not have to turn to other people or other teachers. But Puthujjana, worldling, have no right understanding of their own, and so must look to other people for it. Sotapannas also receive other blessings. Among them are rebirth in a well-to-do family and being reborn in celestial realms, so having less suffering in the world. Sotapannas will suffer 7 more lives in this samsara if they remain as Sotapanna and do not reach the higher stage within that time span. If they do reach higher stages, they are no longer be Sotapanna. They will be Sagragami. And let us say a person remains as Sotapanna and does not reach a higher stage. He still will enjoy the many benefits of Sotapanna Mega, suffer less in this world, and receive many more blessings to come. So these are the benefits of Sotapanna Mega. The last blessing we need to read together. Look at your paper. Read together. The last blessing is that Sotapanna Mega leads to the state of fully enlightened ones, breast-born sons and daughters. After becoming a Sotapanna, what must you do? Stop meditating or continue practicing meditation? In both Silavanta Sutta and Sotapanna Sutta, the Venerable Makutika asks that question. Friend Sariputta, what are the things that a bhikkhu meditators who is a stream enterer should carefully attend to? What are the things that a Sotapanna should reflect upon? The Venerable Sariputta replied, Friend Kutika, a bhikkhu meditators who is a stream enterer should carefully attend to the five aggregates subject to clinging as impermanence, as suffering, as non-self, etc. Friend, when a bhikkhu meditators who is a string enterer carefully attends to these five aggregates subject to clinging, it is possible that he or she may realize the fruits of one's returning. According to the Venerable Sariputta, a Sotapanna should be mindful of the same aggregates of clinging that were the objects of his meditation before he reached his present stage. So as a Putujana worldling practice vipassana on the five aggregates of clinging and reaches the stage of Sotapanna, and as a Sotapanna, he practiced on the same five aggregates of clinging, which may lead him to the second stage of enlightenment. So if you have reached the first stage, wants to reach the second stage, what must you do? You must practice vipassana meditation again. So vipassana meditation is not a practice to be done once in a while, then forgotten. After reaching the first stage, a disciple stay practice vipassana meditation. And as a result of vipassana meditation, you can reach the second stage, which is known as once returning Sakadagami. Sakadagami also the same five aggregates of clinging he or she have to observe and then become Anagami. Now the Venerable Makutika asks, Friend Sariputta, what are the things that a bhikkhu meditators who is a non-returner should carefully attend to? The answer is the same as for string enterer and once returner. The Venerable Sariputta said, Friend Kuntika, a bhikkhu meditators who is a non-returner should carefully attend to these five aggregates subject to clinging as impermanence, as suffering, as non-self. Friend, when a bhikkhu who is a non-returner attends to these five aggregates subject to clinging, it is possible that he may realize the fruits of arahantship. So there is the possibility that if an anagami practice meditation on the five aggregates of clinging, upadana khanda, he or she will reach the fruits of arahantship and become an arahant. Even an anagami must practice meditation to reach the highest stage of arahantship. When he practices vipassana meditation to get into the phalasamappati, it is not difficult for him to enter, but when he tries to reach the highest stage of arahantship through the practice of vipassana, he must go through all the different stages of vipassana. When he when he reach the next higher stage of arahantship, he is able to eradicate all of his remaining mental defilements. So on becoming an arahant, he has no mental defilements at all. Venerable Mahakutika wanted to answer the question, so he put the question to the Venerable Sariputra, whose answer was, a bhikkhu meditators who is an arahant should carefully attend to these 5 aggregates subject to clinging, upadana khanda as impermanent, suffering and non-self. This one answer appears again and again. As you all must have noticed by now, the meditating, worldling, observe the 5 aggregates of clinging as impermanence and so on. And the Sotapanna, Sagragami, and Anagami must do the very same thing in order to attain their next higher stages. Venerable Sariputra continued, for the Arahant, there is nothing further that has to be done and no repetition of what he has already done. However, when these things are developed and cultivated, they lead to pleasant dwelling in this very life, and they lead to mindfulness and clear comprehension. Venerable Sariputra said. So the benefits an arahant gets from observing the 5 aggregates as impermanent, as suffering and so forth, include mindfulness and clear comprehension, as well as a pleasant life. This means that even after becoming an arahant, he or she benefits by practicing vipassana meditation. So do not think that if you become an arahant, you can just retire from the practice of vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is a lifelong project. Arahants do go on practicing meditation after they have attained arahantship. For what purpose? For 2 purposes. One is pleasant dwelling in this very life. Data Dhamma Sukha Viharaya Seva Samvitanti. And the second is to develop mindfulness and clear comprehension. The first purpose they have in mind when they practice vipassana meditation is to live happily and comfortably in this very life. That this sound too worldly? We must remember that Arahants always view this life as a burning house, burning with birth, burning with aging, and burning with death, diseases and more. They never are comfortable living in this world. As far as possible, they want to get away from it, but they are still living and cannot yet escape this life. So in order to experience some joy and happiness, they take nirvana as the object of vipassana meditation. Nibbana is very peaceful. You experience many times. Tatinga nirodha, momentary cessation. When your naughty mind hits the object very thoroughly, peace, real peace. So that is Tatinga nirodha, momentary cessations. Now Nibbana is very peaceful, and so the mind that takes Nibbana as object is also very peaceful. Think of something that is peaceful, and you yourself become peaceful. In the same way, when the minds of Arahants take Nirvana as object, they experience the unsurpassable peacefulness they value so greatly. So whenever they can, they enter the state of happiness, Palasamapati, in which mind takes Nirvana as object as long as they want. They can remain in this stage for 1 day up to about 7 days, the maximum period that human beings can live comfortably without food. So Arahants can be in Palasamapati for 7 days and enjoy the bliss of Nirvana. It is not the same kinds of enjoyment found in our sensual pleasures in sensual world, but their enjoyment is the best enjoyment, the enjoyment of real peacefulness. For this purpose, Arahant continued to practice. So we have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing 5 upadana, 5 aggregate subject to clinging as impermanence, suffering and non-self, and so forth. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all meditators realize the real peace in the very near future.